All right, everybody. Thanks for hopping on today. I know it's a daytime thing, but with it being Holy Thursday, I figured it would be easier for everyone. And for those listening to the recording, um, the call today should be pretty short. I just wanted to share a few things because last week I had asked you guys about limiting beliefs. So at the end, like if y'all have any questions, we can talk through your things. But um, the there's so much in this business about personal growth, and we have to do our power hour. Like that's the heavy lifting, so to speak, that we have to do from day to day. But how we react to our thoughts is kind of the nutrition portion of our business. So like if you're inviting people, but you're fueling your mind with negative limiting beliefs all day long, it just doesn't carry out. You're not going to hit your goals. You're not going to, or you're going to reach certain milestones and miss the growth part of it. I've seen this happen in the business. I've seen people who have rank advanced and hit high ranks because they powered with the heavy lifting part of things. But when they got there, they were crumbling under it because they had so little belief and understanding of why they wanted to do what they wanted to do. They didn't know how to handle negativity from other people because there's always going to be resistance. You know what I mean? They weren't rooted. And so when I asked you guys what your limiting beliefs are, the number one thing, so that's three main points today. The first one is you have to name them, and you have to name them on a regular basis. So you got to get to know the voice. Like you need to know who it is. Like that girl, the call, I forgot her name, Ashley, who did the call for Summer. She talked about it's like her mean girl voice, and she named her whoever the girl was that like bullied her in high school. You know, sometimes my limiting belief, it's just my voice. Sometimes I hear things my dad has said. Sometimes it might have been something someone else has said. But most of the time it's just me, like talking to myself, and I haven't named her or whatever. You could do that. I think she named her like Riley or Ronnie, or I don't know what it was. Anyway, but you need to not name them meaning the person, but like name them out loud. Like write them down. Like Erin talked about this at our retreat, how you write down the negative thoughts. You need to write down the limiting beliefs because those are the areas that you need to work on growth. And so the first step is turning that light on in the haunted house and saying what they are. I find our limiting beliefs are rooted in a fear we have of growing past where we are right now because we haven't done it yet. And so we're afraid it can't happen. Or they're rooted in something someone has told us before that we agreed with, and we've kind of let it form our thinking about ourselves. So the first step for you guys, like you did the other day in the team page, is get out a journal and write them down. Like when it comes to this business, when it comes to your health, when it comes to your like marriage, your motherhood, your role, like all of those things, not just the business. Because I'll tell you that when we've talked about having a vision, and my vision of being a peaceful wife and mom, when I got a hold of that vision, I had to start facing the limiting beliefs that held me back from that vision. My business started to grow because I was clearer on who I wanted to be. And so you want to take time to write them down, and you want to take time every couple months to revisit because you're going to outgrow some of them. They are old. They will get old. You won't agree with them anymore. You'll be like, oh, like my friend Jen Yoder said the other day, she looked at her stuff that she wrote down at Summit a few years back, and some of the lies she doesn't believe anymore, but she has some new ones now that she has to face. So the first step is to name them. The second step about limiting beliefs is to call them out daily. So there's 3 different ways that you can do this. Number 1, I think you need to write affirmations daily. Your affirmations need to face your limiting belief. They should be rooted in scripture, I believe, but even if not, like, oh, this quote specifically, like you need to write them daily and you need to read them daily. So like I have the ones from when we did the Josh Coates group, and I still pull them out now, and I've started reading them again. And then I'll write new ones up when I'm praying in my journal and just let them know they're there. And then cross through them and write a truth and read the affirmation daily. The second thing about calling them out daily is you should draw your social media content from this, because what you're overcoming, because you're overcoming it, is going to be a pain point that connects you to other people. They don't want you just as a finished product. Just like with our fitness journey, we got to share the during. You need to share the during as you conquer these limiting beliefs. You don't have to get completely, like Brene Brown talks about the difference between messy vulnerability and being honest and sharing. Like just sharing where you're at in a way that more people can connect with you, versus being so like spill your guts. You don't have to do that. But it's important that this is part of who you're going to serve. The obstacles that you have in this business, whether it's belief obstacles or physical obstacles or whatever, are the very obstacles on which you will build a strong foundation for your team. And so, sharing about that on social, and then writing your goals daily is another way to combat the limiting belief, because it might say to you, you've been a coach, a 2-star for however many years, and you think you're going to be a 5-star team. My way of punching that belief in the face is every day pulling out my whiteboard and writing on 5-star diamond team, like, or in my journal or wherever I write my goals, like every day writing it every day. And it's a small thing, but it makes a huge difference. The last thing I was going to talk about is like taking action in spite of them. So you need to make a commitment to whatever, if it's like the limiting beliefs of the business, I will do 5 power hours a week doing 2, 2, and 2, because you can control that. Even on the days you have a storm in your head, you can control it by reading your affirmations, writing your goals, and doing your power hour. And I remember one time, I think it was something Danny Johnson said at a conference, but she said, like, sometimes in life, we literally have to take the emotion away from something and just treat it like a task and do it. And so this even applies in our workout. We don't always want to work out, but if you said you're going to work out 4 days a week, do it, or 5 days a week. If you said you're going to pray as a couple, or you said you want to be a more peaceful mom, you set goals for that. And, if it's, I'm going to spend 10 minutes reading with this kid before nap time, you do it every day. And if there's a day that you don't do it, it's not, I'm a bad mom. It's, I'm a good mom who forgot to read with her kid this day. The biggest thing with limiting beliefs is that, and I honestly believe that if you let them conquer you, it can completely sink your business. But if you're willing to battle them, it will completely jumpstart your business in a more powerful way, because you will have a rooted purpose. Like, some of my limiting beliefs that I have had a lot of healing from were that I'm stupid. I had a horrible, honestly, I thought that I'm not smart, like forever. I was afraid to teach. I was afraid to talk. I was afraid to post, even in like groups, like when we had the Team Courage page and people would ask questions, I was afraid to answer the questions because of what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? Sometimes I was wrong. I was afraid to give feedback because what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? And so my way of overcoming that limiting belief was I would go live in there and teach. I would sign up to help Summer run trainings. I would sign up to help lead a team call. I did not want to do it, but I knew the only way to overcome it through action was I had to continue reading my affirmations, and then I had to create a new storyline. And so, and it's still uncomfortable, but I do it anyway. So like now lately I've been thinking, what are the things I need to be doing to get uncomfortable, to grow to that next level? So to me right now, it's been digging more into like understanding Instagram and social media stuff, because I've realized that that's kind of where I need to grow with connecting with people. And like when I hop on the Diamond Deep call, when it's being led by this woman, Melissa Hutchins, who works with Summer, I don't want to talk sometimes. She's not my comfort zone, but I make myself ask a question. Because I don't want to have that, you don't belong, because that still comes in. When I'm in a room full of a bunch of 5-star and 10-star coaches, what runs through my head sometimes is, I don't belong, I'm this person, I'm that, and I have to let it go. And so I'm still overcoming them. But what I learned like at retreat on when y'all were here, and even at other times, is we have commonalities in our limiting beliefs. So also when you step out and you battle it, you literally start to set free people on our team because they're inspired by it. And so imagine what that could be too for your future team and for your kids. I mean, I think about the ways that my kids' lives are so different because of the growth I've had. And so I want you guys to take some time, because I think that one of the most important things, there's, inviting is so important. Obviously it's a vital behavior, because if we're not inviting people to do things, then our business won't grow. But I think personal development matters. And this is the area your PD needs to be in. Now, if you struggle with thinking you're good at inviting people, your PD needs to be on working on skills talking to people. That's going to help your limiting belief. It doesn't always have to be like make you feel good PD. I mean, it's good to read a book that makes you feel good about yourself. There's Grace, Not Perfection. There's Present Over Perfect. There's Daring Greatly. Like those are going to help you grow in confidence. Or we're going to do 100 Days to Brave. But it's also important to read things like Build to Last, Go for No, Go Pro, How to Win Friends and Influence People, or Maxwell's books on leadership, because those are going to help you develop the skills so that when that negative belief says, well, you're just not smart, you can say, I'm learning daily. You know what I mean? Like, because I think that's something, you know, with the Instagram and the reaching out to people, I started to get overwhelmed trying to learn. Well, I just got to learn about it, you know? And so making a personal development plan is another way to take action. It's not just doing your power hour, but it's also, or whatever the task is. So I want you guys to take some time, and I want you to really like not skip this, and make sure you're doing your affirmations and setting your goals in all areas of your life, and share about all of them. If you share about your goals as a mom or a wife or a friend, those are going to inspire people too. You know, your health and wellness, obviously, your nutrition, your business, like that needs to be shared, but that's not all of who you are. And I think like, I realized like that when we have them, like if like a big one, sometimes like I can hear people say, and I used to say it a lot, was how can I help people make thousands of dollars if I don't make $500? Well, the fact is you haven't made $500 yet, but you know how to, and you know how to teach people to. So you got to just tell yourself the truth. You know, like I have not, yes, cumulatively, I have made 6 figures in the business. That's great. I don't make it in a year yet, but I know how to do it because I can see what Summer does and I can follow her footsteps. The only guaranteed way not to do it is to not do my power hour and not to grow. You know what I mean? So I have to like, so if someone were to say to me, and I remember this happened when a coach of mine signed up, she needed to make a certain amount of money. I hadn't made it yet. So I set up a call with Amy Kynard, who did. And we sat down with her and Amy said, this is what I did. And so she did it. And she was able to grow her income, you know, and she saw that it was harder work to do it faster. Or Courtney Bell's like spreadsheet of what she does. So if it's an income thing, or if it's I'm still on my journey, rely on those who inspire you. You know, and I get it. Like those are the common ones. You know, I'm not this many the stars, or I haven't helped any coaches on my team hit diamond, or I haven't, not yet. And so the only thing that you can do to kickstart that is to continue with the behaviors. And when you're writing your limiting belief, the last thing I'll say is self-evaluate. Like, where is this coming from? Is it because like for me, if I struggle a little bit with like not being able to recruit the way I wanted to, and I start to self-evaluate, well, I haven't been inviting to coaching as much as I wish I could right now. And why? Because I self-evaluated and realized I wasn't digging in with my challengers one-on-one like I used to. So I had to go back to that so that I could build a relationship so that I could invite them to coach. So there was a reason why I wasn't recruiting. I was like cold inviting a bunch of people when I was pushing higher numbers, and it didn't work. So instead of like, oh, I suck, I had to tell myself, okay, there's a reason I wasn't consistent in this. I have to go back and change it. And I would say our challenge group, the first month it was like, okay, this month it's going a lot better. Like, and I think it's just from taking that time. So if you're thinking I'm not making this much money, or I don't have this yet, look at your business behaviors and just be real with yourself, but don't self-bully. And then just like, you got to fight the mean girl, you know? And I think it's just it's a powerful thing. Because like, I love when Elizabeth said that people were telling her like, you shouldn't exercise when you're pregnant, and it makes her like want to exercise. So when your mean girl says to you, like, you're never going to get there, like flip her the proverbial middle finger and do your power hour. You know what I mean? Like, I've been watching Friends, which I don't recommend. I'm not watching it anymore, but you know, he does like this thing. Don't ever watch Friends. Yeah. So do this, you know what I mean? Like, but the only, and you're not, and on the days you don't feel like it, treat it like a task. And then you like, it's like the day you did the workout you really didn't want to, and you feel like I did something. I was talking to Amy Plavick this morning. We met and she and I were saying how, it's hard when you go to Summit and you're at the same place you were the year before, or you feel like you were. A lot of y'all have expressed like, I don't want to go to Summit as an Emerald again, or I don't want to go to Summit with this again. And I totally hear that, but still self-evaluate. Have you grown? Has your income grown? Has your business grown? Have you learned new things? You're not the same person that you were a year ago. And if you can get rid of that, I don't want to go the same as your motivation, instead of it, I want to grow, and I like make it a positive instead of a fear-based thing, you'll enjoy the process. So that's what I have for today. Do y'all have any questions? That was quick. I'm on Angie time. Can I help y'all with anything though? I mean, I'm here. I got another little bit of time if y'all have questions about specific things or certain books or anything you can ask. Sarah's killing it over there. Or Shanti's killing her. Yes.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So one of my biggest limiting beliefs is I am not disciplined enough and I can't control myself as far as like food. Like I have no self-control when it comes to that. How would you address that if somebody came to you with that?
Well, I think you have to create small wins.
Don't keep stuff in your house that you can't control yourself around.
Yeah.
You won't find chocolate chips in my house. There are 0 chocolate chips in my house. None, because I can't. Once the bag is open, I eat every time I go through the kitchen.
Yeah. So like small wins like that. So like, what are your triggers? Let's remove them. So like, what can you do to grow? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you need to write new statements. Like, I am a disciplined person. And I would even dig into, what does discipline mean to you, and define it? Because it's not perfect. I would say, right. I sometimes think I'm not very disciplined, because I had to realize, no, I am disciplined, but I'm also laid back. So my definition of discipline is very different than my dad, who is like an Army Captain Emerald, who like everything is this all the time. And I thought I was never disciplined because I didn't do it like him. But I'm pretty disciplined. I just also am so I would say what Sarah says, removing temptation and journaling your wins. Like today, I didn't eat any of the chocolate chips. Today, I drank all my water. Today, like it's like you food journal as a win, a record of right. And then like
text Angie every time you eat a chocolate chip.
Yeah,
I had to do that for a season. I texted Angie every single day and told her all of my transgressions. That sucked a lot. A lot.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's good. So I think having that accountability, but I think you need to define what discipline means for you. Like if someone ever told you you weren't disciplined, that's another part of it, forgiving them. I mean,
yeah.
My dad's coming to visit next week, and he will pinpoint everything in my house that's wrong. He will find every burned out light bulb. He will find every crack in the wall. He will find every piece of gum anywhere. And I know that's coming. So I have to prepare myself to say that's like, that doesn't mean I'm not a good mom, or I'm not. So like, you have to have like those pieces of that attack that view, like whatever feeds that lie, you got to like counter it with, no, I'm a disciplined, wife and mom. I take care of my body. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to be perfect to matter. Does that help?
Yeah. I think,
yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, like, something that really helped me, especially while being pregnant, but just in general in life, is like giving myself times to have treats, like scheduling those in to my plan, because then I'm like on Tuesday, if I like really, really want, a handful of chocolate chips, I'll be like, you know what? I can't wait for the treat that I told myself I was going to have on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like 5 days is not a long time for me to wait to have my treat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like with Ultimate Portion Fix, she says you can have treats two and 3 times a week, which is more than I felt like I should be having with mindset. But that really helped me when I started doing that.
Yeah. No, I think that, and that would be part of like defining what it means for you. Like, you know what I mean? Because I think what happens is we hear the word discipline and we swing to perfectionism, and then we'll never, ever, ever measure. So we're like, why the heck try? You know?
But you have to figure out what motivates you. Like, you have to figure out what motivates you. Like, if somebody tells me I can't do it, that means I'm going to do it. Like, all you have to do is tell me I'm never going to lose the weight, and I'm like, are you recording this?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't say it then. If someone tells me I can't lose the weight, I'm like, well, of course I can. Watch this. Watch me prove you wrong. But for other people, that makes them like hide under a rock. So it just depends on what motivates you. And you need to figure that out also.
Yeah. Because
like Sarah did not like telling me when she'd done stuff she told me she wasn't going to do. So having to be accountable was hard for her. Yeah. But if I told her she couldn't do it, that wasn't gonna motivate her like it does me.
Yeah, I'm the same way. If you tell me, well, it just depends. But yeah, I'm the same way. Sometimes you tell me I can't do something, it'll motivate me for a little while, but I'm more motivated if you like tell me I can and have me send you my stuff so that I feel like I'm building the wins. Does that make sense?
Right. So like when Kelly didn't think she could get down to a certain weight, she checked in with me every day because I told her, of course you can do this. But if somebody had told me that, I'd have been like, then I guess I don't need to. If you think I can, I don't need to. Like, you just have to figure out what pushes your button also for the motivation factor. But you have to start with the fact that you don't have the limiting beliefs. You have to start with fighting that.
Yeah. Like, it's almost like saying it out loud like you did, and that affirmations you speak, but then building evidence for your affirmation through your wins, you know,
building a new truth.
Yeah. Like a new story, a new truth. Like, and then when
and that's what it is. It is all perfection. So like if I'm doing time nutrition. Well, if I'm off and I skip a meal or I eat something that wasn't on my plan for the day, I've thrown it all off. I wasn't perfect. I have no self-discipline. I have no self-control. I can't do it. Like, that's where it all comes from.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think if you were to change that even to, I'm a beautiful woman of God who made a decision to do this, but that doesn't define me. Like, you have to, you know, when I lose my crap with my kids, I have to say, like, I'm a good mom who had a bad 5 minutes. And that was a huge shift for me because it used to turn into, I'm so bad. And then my whole day would be bad, you know?
Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
And Jennifer, you and I don't know each other really well. And so maybe I'm all like fired up from working out or whatever. But
20s kicking. Yeah.
Tell you what, but I'm going to tell you really honestly, you choose that. When you have a moment of failure and you say, screw it, I can't do it, you've chosen that. That's your choice. You can choose to tell yourself, you can't control what pops into your head, but you can choose what you tell yourself. You can choose the second thing you tell yourself.
Yeah.
The first thing is a reflex. The first thing is whatever pops in your head. The second piece is your choice. And I agree with what everybody else said. Whatever you need to say to yourself, whatever you need to do, whoever you need to tell, whatever you need to hang on a Post-it note over your kitchen sink, however much hard love is good for you and only you know that. Like, and I said to the team, like, this was a couple years ago, I'm like, I need some tough love. And Angie's like, me? I'm on it. You know, like, because I didn't need somebody to say, it's okay, tomorrow will be better. But there are some people that if I'm mean to them, they will like crumble. So like, I don't know. I don't know what your touch point is on that, but that second choice, that second thing you say to yourself is your choice.
Yeah.
And you can look for validation or you can look for the exception.
Yes.
And that's what your original question.
The other day.
Your original question
I called the other day for a good butt kick because just with my business, I'm like, I need somebody to tell me, like, get out and do it. I am the tough love kind of girl. I need somebody to say, shut up and do it, you know?
Yeah. And you have to see the long view too, because you have to transition eventually. Like, I don't need Angie to text me at 3:00 every day anymore. because you have to transition.
Right.
It's not Angie's journey, and it's not Angie's business, and it's not Angie's life. It's mine or yours, you know. And so she can help me in that one phase, but you have to transition to that internal piece. But the original question you asked was like helping other people who run into the same thing. And all you have to say is, I struggle with that. And here's one thing that my team is helping me learn. And I'd love to share that with you.
Yeah.
I get that because I go through that. I still struggle with that. And here's how I'm overcoming it. Here's how I'm better than I used to be. And I want to get you surrounded because that's what was the turning point for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And I do think like you just need to make like, it's almost like that plan, you know, of all the pieces that we've said. And that's almost like what you have to do for every belief, but you almost have to take your big loud ones first and deal with those. And then, you know, they'll calm down and another one will pop up. But that's like the whole process of growing. But I think, you know, and it's been good because if you're clear on where you want to be and your definition of like what it means, like that makes a huge difference because even for me, I've learned and grown because I used to have a hard time even giving tough love to people, but I've learned to say like, Sarah, you told me you wanted to do this. Like you can have 24 hours, but you said this, or like, you know what I mean? Like I could say to Elizabeth, like your goals are this, but I see you doing this, but we can do that with ourselves too. Like she said, you know, and I think it's just, but we can't do it if we don't define what that means. So you need to define what success means to you. And, you know, how many days a week is that to have a treat? How many, you know, workouts does that mean? How does that mean with working your business? Like you get to, and it'll change from month to month even, but that's okay. As long as you're defining it, you know, but I think it's important. And like, I agree. Like, I think we're going to get people that have the same struggles with us on purpose because we're working on them so we can help them. Like there's a reason for that, you know? So it's okay. But I think, yeah, I would say you know, removing the triggers is a big thing, but setting some parameters on what that means for you and creating those wins, you know, and celebrating that too. So I hope that helps. That was good, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I think I feel like we all have some version of that, like all of us, you know? So, do y'all have any other questions or things to share?
I don't know what PD to do.
Oh, I got your book right here.
I tried looking it up on the internet, and it did not come up with that book. Is that by, who is that by?
Keith Callahan. It's on Amazon.
Is it, oh, so it's not on like any other, okay, that was my problem.
Yeah, I think you have to buy it. But I mean, I got a whole library. Just come on over and grab a book.
I know, I didn't want to drive.
I understand.
And just like, you're lazy. Just
I would say
your personal development. I got you.
I'm reading Leadership right now, which I like. And if he has, this is probably Audible.
Okay.
Because it's like mindset shifts that you have to make and adjustments you have to make as a leader as you grow. But I really liked this one a lot.
Okay.
And you're welcome to borrow it. I underlined a lot in it. One of the things he said that I underlined actually is you have to know what you're willing to do and what you're willing not to do. So like if you have a goal and you're not doing what you need to do to hit the goal, being honest, be like, I'm not willing to do that. And then you have to own it. You know, I'm not willing to get up early. I'm not willing to work at night. I'm not willing to go to events. And then you're owning, okay, well that means that I can't, you know, or I need to find a way to do it otherwise.
That's in that unf your life is what are you willing to have be true of you and what are you not willing to have be true of you? Yeah. And that's part of like the end thing. Like, I do not want to weigh this when I go to the beach this summer. I am not willing to have this be true of myself. I am willing to do the work to have that not be what I'm like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's what,
I'm willing to make.
Oh, you froze. You froze.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. what I would say about this book that I like, Elizabeth, is there's questions at the end for you to process. And then he has a lot of worksheets on his website too that you can pull out. But I enjoyed reading. I processed the questions, so it helped me. He has a whole chapter on mindset, which is really good, and it's quick. It's nice to have a book that's quick. This one's good though, and Go Pro is really good.
When did you say you wanted to start doing the 100 Days to Brave?
We'll start in May. Our challenge group starts the second Monday of May, so I figured we'd all start on the same day.
It's the 16th, I think.
Yeah, I've got it. I actually have my planner in front of me this time. So yeah, so that it's May.
First Monday is the 6th.
May 13th is the second Monday.
Yeah.
But it's that book she said was really good on confidence and courage, growing in courage. So I wanted us as a team to commit to like 100 days of action as a team, and then our challengers commit to 100 days of action. And I figured that way too, if coaches aren't building the business, but you have coaches on the team that are whatever category, they can still be a part of this and just apply it to their season, and we can kind of be unified in it. So, and there's only 2 pages a day. So that's one, but you could borrow this. We'll have to figure out how to get it to you.
We'll see if we can drive over tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you're not busy.
We don't do anything on Good Friday.
We don't either. We were thinking about going to the zoo.
Yeah, we lay super low.
Yeah.
So we might make hot cross buns. Or
Sweet.
Pretzels. That was it. Pretzel prayers. But yeah, I would say that's a good one. What was the one I just finished? I just finished one that I really liked. Well, the Maxwell devotional book is one of my favorite. The 21 most important minutes in a leader's day. But I think for business skills, build to last, I'm thinking about rereading Go Pro, which is by Eric Worre. He's a network marketing speaker. His whole process of how to invite people is really good. It's just technical. Like it's like a good technical business book. So, do you have something? Oh, no, she hopped off. Like Sarah wanted to share. Okay. Well, I'm going to close us in prayer. Thank you guys for hopping on. And for those y'all listening, I would love it if you worked on these and shared in the team page a copy of a picture of your limiting beliefs and affirmations or your plan. I know like this is kind of not maybe by the end of next week, it would be good if we could commit to it. I know for me, like last week I was going to roll and then I got sick. And so I haven't been even this week with my affirmations. It's like I shared with y'all, I love my family, but they're all triggers for me and they're coming back to back. Like I'm seeing my dad and then my mom and then my mother-in-law and father-in-law and stepmother-in-law, and then my mother-in-law and stepfather-in-law literally back to back. So I know for me, part of what helps me is I have to have my affirmations written down about as who I am as a wife, who I am as a mom, and who I am as a businesswoman, because that's all the stuff that gets attacked. And so I think this will help you guys. And I think, Jennifer, for you, like defining winning, and actually I was thinking about that too. I feel like I need to kind of define that right now in the season I'm into, because I think we have to revisit it. You know, like I loved the week that Elizabeth got really sick in our challenge group. And so her definition of winning was taking care of herself that whole week, because she was feeling like she was failing because she couldn't do any of the stuff because she was super sick. So, you know, like I just met with my chiropractor yesterday, and like my adrenals are in the best condition he's seen since he started seeing me, which is huge. So now I had to define winning for me, but it doesn't mean I can go do Transform 20. Like I still have to like three workouts, 10 to 15 minutes max. Like, but that's winning, you know what I mean? So that helps me to redefine it so that, and that's part of your goals that you write down every day. So, all right, y'all, let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for bringing us together, Lord. And I pray for all of those listening to this call. God, I'm just grateful for the way that you help us to be a light for one another, to sharpen one another. God, I pray that as we face these lies and these limiting beliefs, that you would be a beacon of truth, that you would give us the truth to speak over them, that you would help us find true freedom, that you would help us to define what winning and success means according to your plan for us, Lord. I pray for the coaches and challengers who will be joining us this month in May and through the summer. I pray for growth, extreme personal growth in our lives, spiritual, emotional, physical, mental. I pray for extreme growth in our challenge groups, Lord, just for women and men to experience conversion and healing and freedom in who you created them to be. And I pray, Lord, that you would literally explode our team. Just help our team to grow, to be a light. We ask that you would send coaches that want to work this business and further the mission of our teams. And I ask that you would send us challengers who need this solution and help us to support them through it. And I pray that you would help us to continue to lean on one another and sharpen one another and call on one another to be the women and men you have created us to be. And Lord, we just give thanks on this Holy Thursday as we enter into Good Friday and Easter Sunday, that we I just am so grateful, Lord, for your sacrifice for us, that we can even experience freedom and that we can experience your love and our purpose and our value found in your love. Thank you, Lord, so much for the opportunity to be a part of this community. And we offer all these things in your holy name. Amen. All right, you guys, have a good rest of the week. Thank you for being here today.